What is going on, everyone? Welcome back into another live edition of the Patriots Beat podcast here on the CLNS Media Network, presented by our wonderful friends over at Prize Picks. It's Brian Hines, joined as always by Alex Barth on a short week as the New York Jets are coming to Foxborough Thursday night. Barth, this is a Jets team that just sold off two of their best defenders at the deadline. They have 2 wins on the year, but those 2 wins are in their last 2 games, and we all know how kind of tough that these short week Thursday night games, especially in division, can be for a Patriots team now that, has played 11 straight games. They haven't had a bye, coming off a tough game down in Tampa Bay. So maybe, I don't know, could this one be a little sneaky of a challenge here for the Patriots Thursday night?
I think it's a challenge in that the Thursday night game's never easy, and there's inherent challenges that come with that. I know the Jets have to play on a short week too, but the Patriots are on the road. They're beat up. We'll get to, they're going to have some tough decisions to make when it comes to practice squad elevations. Divisional football games can be weird. You look at what happened between the Bills and Dolphins last week. Now, I don't know that it's 2 coaching staffs that have never faced each other. Vrabel's first-year coach, Glenn's a first-year coach, so maybe that side of it, and the rosters have been significantly overhauled, so maybe that side of it less so, but divisional football games, always a little weird. Thursday night games, always a little weird. That's 2 weird things that we're looking at here. So in that sense, I don't think if they were playing the Jets on a Sunday at 1:00, I don't think I'd be quite as, and not to say I'm like, the Patriots still win. Not to say I'm like worried, but you take a little bit of a longer look with it being a Thursday game and just the circumstances around that.
That's definitely feel like the one thing that you could see if the Jets want to keep this game competitive. It just gets to be one of those funky, kind of gross Thursday night football games, because the Patriots obviously have a much better roster. They're way more talented. They have a better quarterback, coaching staff, all of those things. But if there's just one thing that you're kind of hung up on here, and they are dealing with a lot of injuries too, which again, we will get to Patriots. It is one of those kind of funky Thursday night games. So if the Jets do want to stay in this, it probably starts with their run game, and we can kind of start Patriots defense versus Jets offense, because they're down Garrett Wilson. He's not going to be playing. So their wide receivers, their passing game as a whole has not been good. It's Garrett Wilson, and then just it's a tough cast below him, Bar. So you figure if they have any hope to staying in this game, it's going to come on the ground with Justin Fields running the football, who has torn the Patriots apart in this stadium. Obviously a much different team than 2022, but he can make plays with his legs. Breece Hall, a very explosive running back, and the Patriots defense is coming off their worst performance against the run all year against the Tampa Bay Bucks last week there.
Yeah, I mean, look, their top receivers after Wilson. Now, Mason Taylor hasn't been bad. He's their next leading pass catcher, and he's been okay, and we know tight ends have killed the Patriots, but it's Josh Reynolds and who's the other? Tyler Johnson.
And they traded for A.D. Mitchell, but he didn't play last week.
Right, he'll have A.D. Mitchell. I would think he'd play maybe in this game, but Tyler Johnson and Josh Reynolds combined have fewer receptions and yards than Garrett Wilson, even though Garrett Wilson has already missed time this year, not including this game. So the passing games really should be a non-factor for the Jets. And this run game might worry me more if that wasn't the case. You got to take care of Mason Taylor. I almost said Mason Rudolph. What year is it? Mason Taylor. But after that, we saw teams do this to the Patriots when they were in that kind of, we can run the ball well, but we really can't throw, especially not deep era. Put a corner over here, put a corner over there, put a safety on the back end, and then put 8 in the box and dare them to throw it, right? So some guys that I think you maybe look at could have a bigger game in this one that we haven't talked about as much. I know we talked a little bit more about Corey Durden last week, but Corey Durden, Joshua Farmer, if he plays, I don't know that Kyrus Tong is under the radio anymore, but like those big run-stopping guys in the middle, I do wonder if this is a big spot for Jelani Tavai and a guy that you can send downhill from the second level with good size and good power. But yeah, Breece Hall's a good back. Justin Fields can run the ball, and he's been very effective on scrambles, 8 yards per scramble. But you can put so much attention on those guys because there's not much after that. It's not, okay, well, Sean Tucker, I think Sean Tucker's underrated, but like Sean Tucker, or I guess even if we want to say like Bucky Irving was healthy last week, all right, Bucky Irving, you got to focus on him. Then you also have to focus on Emeka Egbuka and also Kate Otten. And by the way, like Baker Mayfield can make other guys factors. That's not really a thing this week. You don't let Justin Fields run the ball. You don't let Breece Hall run the ball. Even if Mason Taylor goes for 100 yards, which would be mind-blowing, this is a passing offense that had negative 10 yards in a game against the Broncos. Like if they beat you throwing a Mason Taylor, you tip your cap. That really shouldn't be enough to beat this team.
Definitely. Yeah. And with Gonzo and Carlton Davis, like they should be able to take care of those Jets wide receivers down Garrett Wilson. So you figure you put a lot of attention in the box and just stop that run game. But this is, Breece Hall has had a good year, one of the best explosive runners in football by the stats and the numbers back that up. Really the first time they've seen a quarterback run game too, right? Like I know the Saints did a little bit of it with Spencer Rattler, but they haven't seen an extensive quarterback run game where, they're running these traps and options plays with Justin Fields, just like he did again with the Bears in that 2022 game. So that'll be a good test for them. Obviously they have Lamar coming up later in the year, so it'll be a good test for them, but take care of the Jets run game, 8 in the box. Now the Patriots do have some linebacker health issues. Spillane's good to go, but Ellis is going to be out again in this game. Jack Gibbons is good to go, but he was on the injury report this week with a hamstring injury. So as you said, maybe Tavai gets a little bit more work, or Marte Mapu has to play a little bit more snaps. But it does just seem like if you can take care of this run game and make Justin Fields throw the ball 20 times. I mean, he threw the ball 11 times last week and they won that game. It was against the Browns, but 11 times. They don't want to throw the football. They want to keep it on the ground. So if you can slow down that run game and make him throw the ball, that's where you have to start. So you also have to start fast, right? You can't give them an opening score drive and then let them kind of play their game. You need a fast start and make them play from behind and throw the football.
Yeah, if they can get up 10-0, the Jets can't chase that. So fast start's important. Forcing turnovers, the defense hasn't forced a turnover in 2 weeks. You really don't want to see that get to 3, especially with the short week and being worn out. If you can get up early and now you're not pushing as much late in the game, it's not so they can take their foot off the pedal, because they've obviously had a problem with that. But if you can shorten, and the Jets, by running the ball, they're naturally going to shorten the game. So you don't necessarily want to play a shortened game. That's advantage Jets, but just given the circumstance of a Thursday night game, you'd rather be on the field for 50 plays than getting up near 65.
Absolutely. So anything else with that Jets offense? I mean, again, that's big. Like it's pretty simple. They're a 2-win team and they can't throw the football, so stop the run. But anything else, maybe Patriots defense wise, you're specifically watching in this one at all?
Again, Mason Taylor will be in. I'm kind of interested to see him. I thought he was a good player, but beyond that, yeah, not much. Also, little Patriots breaking news here.
What we got?
They just tweeted out. They did this an hour ago. I suck. I've been writing.
Is this the field?
They are going to do the field. So I did some research on this. We can use this as a point of transition here, because this is just with this matchup. This is one of the things we're going to have to talk about this week. Mm-hmm. I did some research. Shout out Gridiron Uniform Database. Best that I can tell, this is the first time the Patriots will play with painted end zones in the new stadium, which is crazy. We're calling it the new stadium here, 20-something years in. It will be the first time the Patriots play a true home game with end zones filled in since 1990.
Wow. Okay,
so there you go. A little history for you.
So we do have the Madden was correct. They nailed it. I think we talked about that last week. Madden was correct. They have the bluish color what are we calling that? Storm blue? Is that what we're calling
Storm blue? That's the name. That's what they're
blue?
calling it.
So Storm blue is in the whole end zone, and then I think the Patriots logo with the lettering and above it is the logo in there too. So full painted end zone, and we have the rivalry jerseys. Have they grown on you at all for this night matchup?
Those helmets are really cool. Those helmets are excellent. I mean, from there, yeah, it's still okay. I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. The number font, I guess, has grown on me. The rest of it, yeah, I'm still not. It's fine. It's not bad. The fact they're wearing it once a year, it's fine. If this was like their normal jersey, I think I'd hate a lot more, but it's like a one-off. It'll look cool.
It's fine. Yeah. Do we know what the Jets are wearing? Just white, like a white out?
All white. Yeah.
All white. Okay.
I wish they'd wear like the early 2000s throwbacks. Those Jets uniforms are actually sick.
Yeah. Those would look cool. So New field, new jerseys. It'll be just something fun, maybe to spice up this Thursday night matchup a little bit. But let's talk about some of these Patriots injuries. But before we do that, I also want to talk about our friends over at Prize Picks. And football season is in full force. Barth, you and I make decisions every day, but being right on Prize Picks can get you paid, and the hard-hitting football action is better than ever. We know the weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks. Play $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Again, we had a nice week last week going 5 or 6 in our lineup, so that was a nice payout. We'll put together our lineup again for this Thursday night one at the end of this show, so make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Or you can also, if you want to go outside of the Patriots and Jets, you can extend it to the rest of the league. Saquon Barkley, more or less than 1 rushing touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns. Josh Allen, more or less than 270 passing yards. Tons of options. And even can extend to all sports going on right now if you don't just want to play any football lineups. So make sure you guys download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, all over on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. All right. Patriots offense banged up a little bit, especially at the skill position players here. We got the injury report about an hour ago. We'll kind of go down these positions, starting at running back, because that's been a big one. Ramondre Stevenson with that toe injury is out again. He's going to miss his 3rd straight game. Terrell Jennings is questionable with that knee injury. So if you assume he's good to go, it's probably him, Travion Henderson, and you call up Dearness Johnson. Is that your plan? And then what do you think kind of happens if Terrell Jennings maybe can't go there tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, if Terrell Jennings can go, it obviously makes it a lot easier. What the tricky thing, so they're going to need to elevate at least one running back. They probably need to elevate a tight end. Tight end's kind of the unknown. And then do they need to elevate somebody for special teams? Darius Harris, who got elevated last week, played on all 4 special teams units. So, if it's somebody who can do both, great. Maybe that's CJ Dupree. But if they have Jennings, okay, then Dearness Johnson is one, and maybe it's Dupree playing all the units on special teams. Maybe they feel good about Jack Westover as the second tight end, and he can step in if Hunter Henry needs a breather, and there you go. If they also need a specialist like Nat, or if they don't have Jennings, now it's okay. Is it 2 running backs? Are you okay going into the game with 2 backs dressed? If not, are you taking a big chunk out of special teams against a very, very good return unit, the Jets? Or are you only going with essentially one true healthy tight end? They're going to have some tough decisions to make here. Yeah, they even if they have Jennings, it's tough. Without Jennings, now you start talking about maybe do they make a roster move and add somebody to the active roster?
Yeah, they could cut maybe one of those bottom guys on the roster, like Eric Gregory hasn't played. I don't know who else is down there off the top. Caleb Murphy was active. They might need him on special teams, but they could cut someone and then maybe sign, Dearness Johnson, because he'll be out of elevations this week if they really need to. But a lot probably pivots on where they think Terrell Jennings is. So the fact that he was questionable, I think he was limited to the last the 2 days of practice. So maybe he's trending in the positive direction. And also it's probably beyond this week. Again, he's out, but Stevenson was limited this week. So maybe they'll be getting him back after some extra rest too. So they might only have to kind of patch that hole one more week here, but still that running back depth definitely getting tested. So we'll see what they do there. Tight end, you mentioned it, with CJ Dupree, Austin Hooper out with a concussion. So you imagine if they have a spot just to elevate someone, that would be CJ Dupree, because he's been around the team since the rookie minicamp, right? He was here. He was a UDFA and rookie minicamp, so he's been around a while, and he can kind of help fill in on special teams. Hooper's on the field goal block and kind of as an inline blocker, where that's where Hooper brings a lot of value in those 12 personnel sets. But could you also see maybe a little 6-0 line action if they want to get some extra blockers there? Vidarian Lowe, Marcus Bryant, maybe they go a little 6-0 line to help replace Hooper as well.
I think that's definitely on the table. The bigger concern for me is Hunter Henry going to play 100% of the snaps? And if not, even in situations where you're throwing the ball, you can't have that be that much of a tell. Maybe they just maybe they go 6-0 line in passing and they just decide to leave that guy in to block. And, against man-heavy Jets defense, maybe don't need to put 5 out in the pattern every time. But That's the bigger question to me is like, if they want a tight end besides Henry running routes. I think in the run game, yeah, they just go with an extra offensive lineman and set that up.
It'd probably be Westover then, right? If they want another route runner tight end.
Yeah, but he hasn't really played that position since the midway through camp. He's been the fullback. So, does Dupree maybe have more experience there than him?
Potentially. Yeah. They moved Westover around, I would say, a good amount. But yeah, he hasn't played like the natural tight end spot. But maybe they feel more comfortable with that, and then you can keep the pre in line. But yeah, they're gonna have some interesting choices there at running back and tight end with who they want to elevate and so on, because there's special teams ramifications as well. But the other big one ruled out, Kayshon Boutte, again, that hamstring injury. Probably erring on the side of caution a little bit here on the short week, give him some extra days rest on the backside, get him ready for Cincinnati next week. So again, it's a man heavy Jets defense. Worked pretty well last week, I would say, with Kyle Williams and Matt Collins in there for
Right.
Kayshon Boutte. Are you just rolling with those two guys again, or are you trying to change something up against this Jets defense?
No, I think the wide receiver rotation's fine as is. The only thing is, do they maybe use Matt Collins to kind of simulate a tight end at times if they're going to be shorthanded there? But I think the wide receiver rotation last week was fine. I don't think that needs to be altered that much.
Agree. Another Kyle Williams big play. We feeling it this week?
I mean, so the thing about the Thursday night game, and I talked to David Andrews about this on Monday on the Patriots Hub podcast. If people haven't checked it out, like you are kind of relying on some more basic core stuff. You're cutting out some of the more specific install, but I would think that if they are going to install, like the minimal install they do, I would think you got to have something for Kyle Williams, right?
I would say so. Especially, the Jets, they play a lot of man. Like if you single him up on the backside, the Bengals got the Jets with that a lot. Like give him some deep balls. So that'd be great if they could get something else going.
I would think so.
Yeah. So we'll see there. But those are the big injuries. Anything else kind of big picture with this Patriots offense you're specifically looking against this Jets defense that again is no longer has Sauce Gardner,
right,
Quentin Williams down their big guys after the deadline.
Their best two players are probably on the edge. Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson, and Jamie and Sherwood can rush the passer as well. So we'll see. Like last week, the Bucs didn't blitz a lot, and that kind of worked. They sent, at times they really only sent 3 against Drake May, so maybe more of that. Just again, short week, you're more banged up, keeping Drake May upright and making sure he doesn't get hit. Obviously, it should be. The last few weeks, it's been, this is such a tough test for the line. This is such a great pass rush. This is such a great pass rush. And I think people are like, why do you keep saying that every week? I mean, the Jets pass rush is fine, but it's not on the level that, especially that Quentin Williams, it's not on the level that Tampa or Cleveland or Atlanta is. So the offensive line should take a step forward this week, just based off competition.
Definitely. Agreed. But I think the last big thing with this matchup, special teams, you kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier there, but Jets have a really good special team unit. They're number 1 in special teams DVOA. They have the top ranked kickoff return unit, averaging 28.8 yards per return. Also a very good punt return unit. So again, if they want to kind of muddy this game up a little bit and keep this one close, 1 or 2 big plays on special teams could really swing this, especially in that Browns game. They had, was it 2 kick return touchdowns or a kick return and a punt return touchdown? They had a couple touchdowns on special teams. So they can strike that way. So that's going to be a big area if you want to just kind of take care of business, take care of special teams, and don't give them any hope or don't give them any big plays in that area of the game.
Yeah, that's massive. That's if you're going to open the door for the Jets, that's the 2 things that you can't do. You can't allow big special teams play. They cannot turn the ball over in this game, too, to go back to your last point. Jets have only forced 1 turnover this year. Don't allow a big return. And the special teams don't turn the ball over, and they should be in good shape.
Absolutely. So I believe that is our matchup. Any other points where we can put our prize picks lineup together here very quickly?
Yeah, there's not that much in this game. It's just that kind of game. So
it's that Thursday night game.
They should win. They should win. They're 12.5-point favorites. Does it sneak maybe a little bit under that because it is the short week and the Patriots are more banged up and, the Jets are, big time playing for pride here after trying to save their coach or whatever. Maybe it sneaks down to like 10 points, but you should not. The Patriots should not be sweating this one out in the fourth quarter. That'd be disappointing. If this team really is different, part of what makes these great teams great is when you play a team like the Jets on a short week, and it is an easy game to overlook, you still come out and you still open up a can of whoop ass. So Patriots have the talent for this game to not be in doubt late. Let's see if they can get it across the finish line.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll put together our Prize Picks lineup here. Again, new users can use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Barth, I was looking through it pretty quickly here. Travion Henderson, more than 3.5 yards on his first rush, is back on the table. Do we have to go right back to it? Because we did it last week, and his first rush.
I mean, yeah, I think we have to ride that one, right?
I think we have to ride that one. So, more than 3.5 yards on first rush for Travion Henderson. We'll throw that one in our lineup there. They should be able to run the ball pretty well against the Jets defense. So hopefully they come out with a big one off the jump. We have some Mac Hollins, 39.5 receiving yards. We have Kyle Williams, 22.5 receiving yards or 16.5 longest catch.
We got to hit that longest catch. Yeah.
I think he's going to get another big one. So more than 16.5. Longest reception for Kyle Williams. Get the ball in his hands. They got Jack Westover touchdown, Hunter Henry touchdown,
Tonga touchdown.
I don't see Tonga yet. We gotta talk to Prize Picks and get some Tonga props on here very quickly. Henry is 33.5 receiving yards. If you like that without Austin Hooper in the lineup.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Okay, we can go more there. And then we'll get some Jets in here.
We got to do a couple Jets. We can't do the other random game, right? Because it's all going to be on Thursday.
I mean, we could look ahead, but
okay.
We'll get some Jets in here because we go 5 for 5 and then have it all come down to our sicko pick on Sunday.
Or we could just have like a Bruins pick.
Or we could do that as well. Do they play Thursday? They play tomorrow,
they play
right?
Senators.
Oh, we could. Yeah, let's do that. Let's mix in a little Bruins pick.
Let's do that.
But let's get 2 Jets in here. They have Austin McNamara, their punter, more than 4.5 punts or less than 4.5 punts. Breece Hall's longest rush is 13.5 yards. He's at 58.5 total yards.
So I was going to say, I think he goes over 50, but that's a good amount over 50. What do they have for? I do think Mason Taylor makes a couple plays in this game. What do they have for Mason Taylor?
Okay, let's see where Mason Taylor is at. He's got 32.5 receiving yards. His longest reception, 13.5.
Kind of like the more receiving yards there. Like somebody has to catch passes, especially if they get behind and they're throwing and the Patriots going to that prevent thing.
Throwing garbage time kind of all around. All right, we can do that. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe we just go Breece Hall more yards too.
Breece Hall. Should we do? Oh, he's got 3.5 yards on first rush too. Should we do that one?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Perfect. We'll go more of 3.5 yards on first rush. And then we'll end the night with a special Bruins pick for our
Can we get, what do we have for Morgan Geeky? Putting my boy Kevin Majori on blast. You got to show up after you do that.
Morgan Geeky, more than half a goal is a demon. Should we just go
hit it?
One goal for Morgan Geeky. All right, so here's our lineup. We got Breece Hall and Travion Henderson, more than 3.5 yards on first rush, going back to it after that worked for Travion Henderson last week. Then we got our tight ends. Hunter Henry, more than 33.5 receiving yards. Mason Taylor, more than 32.5 receiving yards. Kyle Williams gets another long ball, more than 16.5 longest receptions. And then Morgan Geeky's bringing us home, more than half a goal. It's a demon after he calls out Kevin there last night. So again, new users, use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Play $5 on that lineup. If we go 6 for 6, 55-time multiplier, so you win $275. If you want to put the 50 on it, then $2,750 payout right there. Great work. And you can also, of course, play the flex play and get payout for 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, which we again did last night, and then again 6 out of 6. So good lineup. I like that one. That's fun.
We went 5 out of 6 last week.
What? What'd you say?
We went 5 out of 6 last week?
We went 5 out of
Oh,
6.
yeah.
We
There
had
we
a good
go.
week. So we're looking to keep this hot streak going here over on Prize Picks. So we'll put that out so everyone can play along with us on Thursday night. And again, new users use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup on Prize Picks. All right, Barth, last thing we wanted to hit on here. We were down at Gillette today. Rob Gronkowski signing a ceremonial 1-day contract to retire a Patriot. He was honoring one of his late friends who does a lot of charity work in the region. Met Gronk, also was a Patriots cheerleader. So she unfortunately passed away earlier this month due to cancer. She asked Gronk to retire a Patriot back in August when he donated over $1 million to put that playground up in Boston. So he was at Gillette today, signed the contract. He'll be the keeper of the light at the game tomorrow. He'll address the crowd at halftime. Should be good stuff. But just cool to kind of see Gronk back. Shared some good stories. As he was saying, he comes back and gets a lot of the emotions and the memories. We're sitting there and getting a lot of those memories back too. So just cool to kind of see Gronk back in Foxborough today and to have him retire as a Patriot.
Yeah, it was cool to have him back. He seemed to genuinely enjoy it. I know he'd said he was going to do the ceremonial 1-day contract, but probably closer when he got in the Patriots Hall of Fame, moved it up. He will be eligible next year. And that's a couple guys now. Lawrence Guy did it. David Andrews. I don't think he didn't need to sign a 1-day contract because he was here. But David Andrews got his, moment. Devin McCourty a couple years ago. So they're starting to do this more and more, which I like. And yeah, it was, obviously deserves it. He is the greatest tight end in the history of the sport. I don't want to hear nothing about no Travis Kelce. It was actually Brian Hoyer on my podcast earlier. If people want to check that out, we talked a little bit about Gronk and just not that he was a good blocker, but he was so willing. There are some tight ends that are good blockers because they're big, but you can tell, you hear this a lot, like blocking can be a want to thing. Gronk wanted to. Gronk, we know, like take him out of the club, right? Remove him from the club, kick him out the club. So obviously there's some tremendous catches, elite athleticism. Everybody I've done a podcast with, I've asked favorite Gronk play, and I think I've gotten a different answer every time, whether it be the touchdown against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. It's my favorite. Going back with the arm against Denver. The David Andrews said the one off the shoelaces in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
But it's, I mean, what's that alone was rare. You throw in the fact that he basically was a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle as well. 101. Like they'll never be just on the field, obviously 101 personality too, but like there'll never be another player like that. He was essentially a, Pro Bowl, all pro caliber talent in two different positions.
Yeah, and he was even going through some of those plays. He mentioned the catch against Denver, obviously with the left hand, and then he was talking about, which we forgot, like the very next play, he's lined up out wide on Von Miller and runs a slant and scores the touchdown.
Cooks him, doesn't just run a slant. I mean, cooks him.
Which Von Miller probably shouldn't have been out there, but that's right. That's what he does to those type of guys. So, and I always remember the AFC Championship in Denver, and it probably doesn't get the shine because they lost the game. But the fourth down catch downfield with like 3 guys on him, and then somehow brings in the touchdown on 4th down. Like they couldn't get the 2-point conversion, but just dominant. So obviously deserved. I'd imagine he'll be the Hall of Fame choice next year. Like I don't know how Gronk is going to lose a fan vote. So
no, we got to get Vinatieri in. I've been pretty strong about that, but it's Gronk. I mean, he's next.
He's not going to lose a fan.
But then Vinatieri.
But yes,
then Vinatieri.
Absolutely. I still think Mankins should get it. Poor Logan Mankins is going up against the gauntlet right now.
Well, look, I was Vrabel for a couple years. He kept getting pushed back, and it ended up being the best thing that could have happened for the organization because he gets to come and give the speech after John Robinson blows up the roster, pisses off the owner, and gets fired so he can come coach this team and be really good. So I don't know. Maybe Logan Mankins is like the next great Patriots. I don't want to kick Doug Marrone out the door, right? As I'm saying, that Doug Marone's done a good job, but like you never know. It worked out ultimately that Vrabel waited. So, but
Patriots fans, they knew what they were doing with that vote. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing, making Vrabel wait a year or two. It ended up That is an all-time butterfly effect. Who got in over him?
What?
Who was it? I'm trying to remember now who got in over him.
Was Vince the year before?
So I think Vince was one. And that's honestly, like, I love Vince. That's kind of a toss-up, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Or am I a prisoner of the moment because Vrabel's doing such a good job right now?
I think that's kind of a toss-up.
Uh,
It was definitely Vince. I forget who else was before him. Oh, did we lose Barth? Oh, you're back?
Did I cut out here?
You're cut out, but I think you're back. We got you. We might not have got him. We'll wrap up there. We'll be good there. So Gronk back, sign a one-day contract. Cool to see. Probably will be the Patriot Hall of Fame inductee next year. Win that fan vote. But Patriots-Jets Thursday night. We'll be back to recap that one. We're not sure yet if we're going Friday or Monday after the weekend. So we will let you guys know. So make sure you're locked on to Patriots Press Pass. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you know when we are going to go live. There, you can also follow Barth on Twitter at RealAlexBarth. Head over to 95thesportshub.com for his Patriots coverage there. And you can follow me on Twitter at I am Brian Hines and head over to patspulpit.com as Barth's back. We're just closing it up. We're closing it up.
All right.
Did you have any closing thoughts?
I just wanted to see who got in over Vrabel.
It was Vince,
right?
And
then my Wi-Fi died. Well, no, he was on a couple. I think it was Wilfork. I think it was Wilfork and Seymour. I think he was on there for a few years.
Okay. Interesting.
So, but let's just go before my Wi-Fi dies again.
All right. I did most of the outro. So just thanks everyone for jumping on. We'll let you know when we're coming back to recap that Pats-Jets probably either Friday or we'll push it to Monday. Again, we'll let you know. So make sure you're locked on Patriots Press Pass. Thanks everyone for jumping on here. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy Thursday Night Football, and we will see you guys soon.